Hola.
Hello guys, welcome back to our beautiful channel.
A nuestro canal.
What's the holiday called?
Día de los Muertos.
So in honor of Day of the Dead holiday, it's from October 31st through November 2nd. That's kind of when it's celebrated. Mateo, will you show, let's show your shirt once.
Ah, okay. Okay. There, it's on camera.
There, we just showed it on camera, we can take it off. Mateo for some reason does not like dressing up, so this is a little Mexican shirt. So these are traditional Mexican outfits. Mateo doesn't want to wear it, he's being a 2-year-old. So yes, in honor of the holiday, today's video is going to be about cooking or baking.
Conchas.
We're going to be baking, yes,
Conchas.
conchas. And these years are actually, they came out earlier this year.
Yeah.
They came out earlier this year in the Mexico Pavilion at Epcot.
It's traditional Mexican color.
But if you take, I don't want to mess up your hair, but if you look in the back, it's like super detailed, like it looks like burnt bread, so it's super cool ears. I bought them for you for your birthday? Mother's Day. So today, we've only ever made them once. We're gonna make conchas from scratch. If you don't know what conchas is, it's pretty much like a Mexican sweetbread.
It's dry.
I say English, Spanish. Mexican sweetbread?
But the Mexicans know.
Pandas.
Yeah, but the Mexicans know what it is.
Maybe they don't. No, just say the name.
Conchas?
Concha is a type of Mateo, don't move the camera.
It's pan dulce.
Yes. So back home in Texas, I'm from the valley, so back home it's a very small community, like we're all family and friends, and there's literally like a bakery every corner, and like the main stores like Walmart, H-E-B. H-E-B is a Texas-based brand. If you want to hear our struggles about that, watch this video. I don't know where it's gonna be. It'll be somewhere here. Watch that video where we're trying to find a grocery store that's like H-E-B here in Florida, and it's not right.
There's no place.
There's no place. Anyways, so conchas were really popular. Well, they are really popular. It's just like a traditional Mexican dulce where you can get. I think for my family, we would get them like every Sundays for the barbacoa. My dad would get like a big old box from that bakery. The one, I've taken you there.
Yeah.
La Especial.
Donuts.
Yeah, La Especial Bakery is amazing.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored. I personally never liked conchas. I thought they were just like an annoying. I've always thought that they were just the bread that they put in the box so it can make it look fuller. Ow. Susie. Yeah, so I never liked conchas myself. I don't know. I was always more of a donut person. My family loves them a lot though. So growing up, they're always around. For you, those of you who don't know us, I'm from Texas. My family is Mexican, and Nancy's.
Born in Texas, raised in Mexico. That's how I explain it. Monterrey, Mexico.
So we're gonna make conchas, but we're like, how can we do it different? Because if we just make conchas, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like the same thing over and over. So we're gonna stuff them or fill them or make a sandwich. We don't know. We're gonna try to like figure it out at the end of it. We're gonna stuff them or fill them with a Nutella Ganache. This ganache, we have used it before when we had our bakery. So we use it for a Selena inspired cupcake. And that's Selena Gomez.
Not Selena Gomez. Selena Quintanilla.
Thank you.
So the book came back. We had to open the recipe book. Go get it. Yo, it's done with you.
So we used to have an online bakery back in Austin before we moved to Florida. And we have our master binder of all our recipes. It's filled with many, many recipes that we've created.
It's so dirty.
Well, I say we, but it was me.
Well, I said yes or no.
I opened it the other day. It's been almost 2 years.
It's so dirty.
It's so dirty. There's like food on the
chocolate.
There's like flour. So we have a recipe. It was called Anything for Selena's Cupcake. It was pretty much like a churro spiced cupcake with a Mexican vanilla buttercream and filled with a Nutella Ganache. I miss these. These are really popular.
Can you put a picture here?
Yeah, I'll put a picture of the cupcake here now. So we're gonna use that ganache and try to like fill the conchas or like. I was googling and like some people like cut them like a sandwich and like make a sandwich. That might work, but I think the concha is gonna be too dense to like fill out a hole. I don't know. We'll play around with it. We'll do different variations. But it's our second time making conchas. Mateo, don't touch the camera. Mateo, no. I don't want to do an exact how to make them video. It'll just be like a general, this is the steps. If you want the recipe and stuff, I'll put the recipe that we use in the description box. If you have any questions, just comment on the video and let us know. And once again, as always, if you don't know who we are the Herreras. The Herreras. We post every Thursdays. Subscribe to our channel. I would like to say that we post a lot of baking videos, or we post a lot of like certain Disney World videos, because we live in pretty much in Disney World. But we post everything. It's mainly just for our family to keep memories and like.
It's life.
It's just life. So if you want baking videos, we have like a little playlist, but hopefully we'll start posting more. So you guys enjoy. Oh, I didn't show them my shirt. Look at my shirt. It's Mexican Mario. So it's Mario.
It's Mario.
And Lucy giggled.
For the first time.
Lucy giggled for the first time yesterday.
Disfruten las conchas rellenas de Nutella.
So we're all set up in the kitchen already. I have my computer here with the recipe in there. It's just literally I googled concha recipe, and this is probably like, this was the first one, but it was like the better one that I saw. Oh look, skinny ass. So pretty much the recipes is bread flour, we have active yeast, we have sugar, we have butter, unsalted, we have eggs, salt, milk, Mexican vanilla we actually bought from Monterrey, Mexico. We have shortening, cocoa powder, cinnamon, all-purpose flour, and then powdered sugar. Honestly, I couldn't find our mixer, but I found it in the garage all boxed up. So I'm bringing out the old mixer, we haven't used that in a while, and then we're gonna start. So hope you guys enjoy. Something I do want to say, the butter should be room temp. I did not do that, so I'm gonna leave it out for a little bit, and then before we start using it.
A few moments later.
Hi, hello. So update. So I should have read the recipe before we did anything. Hello? The dough, it's a yeast dough, so it has to rise. And I made yeast bread before, and it usually rises for like 20 or 30 minutes, or maybe max an hour. This dough has to rise for at least 2 hours. And you can let it rise more if you want more of a fluffier bread. So it is 4:30 right now, and we have plans with someone at Hollywood Studios at 6:30. So we're not gonna have time to do it today. I work early tomorrow, and then I'm off Wednesday, so we're probably gonna do it Wednesday and then make them there. So sorry. We'll see y'all in a bit. Well, for you, it's gonna be seconds. For us, it'll be 2 or 3 days. Bye. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, good morning. Hi.
Good morning. Hola. ¿Puedes decir hola? ¿Me das un beso? Gracias. So it is Wednesday, a whole new day. So now we have time. It's like 9 in the morning, 10 in the morning. Now we have time to start the yeast that has to rest for 2 hours. Oh. Well, there's mess everywhere. So let's start.
And this recipe is from online. It's Mexico in my kitchen. Mexico in my kitchen. I already have Mexico in here. Pretty much when I follow a new recipe online, I like to do exactly what it says. I know some people just look at recipes just for like as a reference, but I like doing what it says just so I can learn. Maybe there's a new tip that I didn't know or something. So I always do the recipe exactly how it is first, and if I ever make it again, I'll go in and change what I think needs to be changed. So one of the tips says here is to use bread flour. So I bought some bread flour, and apparently the bread flour will make the concha like light and fluffy. So I bought the bread flour, and I'm gonna start that. And right now we're gonna just pretty much put together the bread flour, sugar, yeast, and salt. And an interesting thing about yeast, in culinary school, they taught us to always activate the yeast in a cup of water. But because these are portioned out in packets, they should always be active. So you could just add this into the flour and just start going. You don't have to activate it in hot water.
So what are you doing?
I pretty much put all the dry ingredients in here. And like I said earlier, yeast usually has to be activated by water. But this recipe says just to put it in here. So I'm just gonna try it out, see if it works. I did put it through a sifter.
Our assistants are on break.
This bum. We're gonna put it on here, and it says to use a dough hook. So that is there. So we're gonna insert the butter. And this butter, the day that we started the recipe, I left it out so it gets softened. So it's been out. 1 stick of butter.
Oh wow.
And I cut it in there too. So
Oh wait.
easier to
Oh
mix.
man, I didn't get that.
So it says mix this for a little bit on medium.
Mix it up. Mix it up. Hello, Mama. Oh, you had so many bubbles. Hi, boy.
The butter looks pretty like mixed well. You can still see there's like a lot of little like lumps of butter. So that's fine for now. It won't really fully go away until you add the milk. So now the best part, we're gonna add in some Molina vanilla, vainilla. We bought these when we went to Mexico almost 2 years ago, 3 years ago. We bought like maybe 15 bottles, and I think this is our last bottle.
Lo pueden conseguir en H-E-B y en Soriana.
Hello?
¿Qué pasa?
What are you doing?
¿Tenemos pañal?
So we're gonna add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and then 1
Mateo
egg.
wants to help. You want to help?
So I'm gonna add that real quick.
So what are you adding? This? Vanilla?
Yeah.
You want to help? Mira.
Good job, babe.
Do you want a hand mix? This is how you do it.
Good job, Mateo.
Wow.
Mateo, are you having fun? So we have the vanilla and the egg mixing in there. Mateo started helping. And it said to do 1/2 cup of milk. So I have it in the microwave right now. Because it needed to be warm. So I'm doing that right now. And then once it's all warm, we'll add little by little in the recipe. So I added a little bit already. I think it's okay. I'm gonna add some more. So I added all the milk already. You could tell it's kind of getting a little thicker. The machine sounds like it's struggling. And it says to mix it for 7 minutes. I'm gonna put the timer real quick for 7 minutes, and we'll see what happens.
This is her favorite thing. This is how she falls asleep.
Yep, she would not sleep any other way. Lucy Bum. Lucy, you're gonna be YouTube famous.
Say hi, baby.
Hi, you picked up your whole head by yourself?
She's so strong.
Say hi, everybody.
Echo.
Subscribe to my channel.
My channel.
So I put it up a little bit, and it's not, all the milk is in there that the recipe said, but it's still very like dry and not really sticky yet. So I'm gonna add a little more milk. So it looks like it's getting there. It's a little more stiffer now, but it says it's supposed to be sticky. So I think I need a little more milk. So I'm gonna just add the rest of this little splash here, and then it should be done. Alright, so I ended up adding all the milk. It's probably like almost a whole cup of milk that I added. The dough is pretty nice now. And because I mixed it in here so much, I don't have to knead it too much. And if you don't know what kneading is, it's pretty much like pressing it with your hand on like a granite countertop or something. So I'm gonna just knead it a little bit just to make a ball, and then it should be all set. So let me just clean up the counter real quick. So I made a little space here on my counter, and I'm gonna just get some flour, just sprinkle some on top, and then I'm gonna just get the dough and just start kneading it. So pretty much kneading it is just like doing it over and over with your hands, folding it. Sorry, I'm moving too much. I don't want to do it too much because if you over knead a bread, it's gonna be just too tough. Have you ever had like bread or pan dulce that's like really rough and dry? It's because they had over kneaded it or overworked it. So I think that's good. I'm gonna just put some shortening in the bowl on the sides, put the ball in there, and then it should be all set. A good way to put shortening in anything. Grab some on your napkin like that and just spread it in. So now that the dough is all good, the bowl is all greased with shortening. So you want to make sure you put a lot of shortening in there, kind of all over the bowl. So when the dough rises, because it's a yeast dough, it'll have space to grow and it'll be slippery so it can grow faster. So just pop the bowl in there like that. And I always like to put just a little shortening over it too, on the sides and everything, just in case it needs a little more help sliding up and rising. And something that I like to do before we let it rise, I like just to get like a Sharpie. This is probably not sanitary at all, but I just like mark the bowl like where the dough started, because it should be doubling in size. So I just make little marks, so when I come back in 2 or 3 hours, I can see how far it actually risen. Usually you should wrap your thing with plastic wrap. You want to do plastic wrap because you want to make sure there's no moisture or anything getting inside, but we don't have plastic wrap. So I Googled, and a pot lid, it should work perfectly fine. You usually want to put it in a warm spot, so usually it's above the oven. But the recipe that we're following says to put it in the oven, off of course, with your oven light on. Oh, it's dirty. With your oven light on, so the oven light gives it some sense of like heat. So we're just gonna pop this in there. We made quite a mess here. So we're gonna leave the dough in there for about 2 hours minimum to rise. The recipe does says you can do it overnight or you could do it way longer. Essentially during this time while you're letting it rise, you should make your topping and make your other stuff. But we have some errands to run, so we're gonna go do that. Run some errands, come back home, make all the toppings, and hopefully that should be like 3 or 4 hours. So we'll see y'all in a bit.
3 hours later.
Mateo. So we officially finished our errands and stuff. We just got back home. We just went to grocery shop and stuff. It's been about 2.5 hours since the dough has been in the oven. So I'm gonna pull it out and see what it is. Hopefully it's risen, because if it didn't rise, I am not doing it again and this video is over. Okay, let's see. Ignore the dirty oven. So it definitely rose a lot. I wouldn't say double the size, but you can't really even see the marks that I made, so those are definitely covered. I might leave it to rise a little longer, just because I want it a little bit bigger. Yeah, I'm gonna put it back in, just maybe for like another hour or two. I guess while we make the toppings and stuff, and then we'll take it back out. So pretty much next we're gonna make like the topping for it. So it's pretty much gonna be like a little dough like that, and it kind of just goes on top of the conchas and then breaks. And when you break it open, you do the shape and stuff and it breaks. And so we don't have that little shaper tool, so we'll figure it out. We are gonna make chocolate and vanilla, so we're gonna make that right now. It's pretty much just shortening, powdered sugar, and vanilla and cinnamon. It's 2/3 of shortening, and it said to mix it till it's like creamy. It's pretty hot in here, so it's pretty creamy already. I'm just gonna add the powdered sugar. Sorry, I mixed the shortening and sugar already, and now I'm adding a little bit of the flour. Okay, it got messy real quick. So that is that. It's pretty much like a stiff ball, kind of. It's just flour, shortening, and sugar. I lose the bombs. Wearing a Spider-Man onesie.
Third outfit in this video.
I split them in half, so it's here half and half. I'm gonna make this one chocolate and make this one like just vanilla with cinnamon. Cinnamon. Some cocoa powder. One. She wanted to do the chocolate one herself by hand. I did the cinnamon one already. It's kind of brownish, but still mostly white. So pretty much after we do this, Mateo. Be careful. Be careful. After we do this, we're gonna make the Nutella Ganache. And then hopefully the breads are ready. I mean, the dough is like risen. I don't know, I'm kind of scared. It's about to be 4 hours, so hopefully it's done.
1 cup of heaven.
Pretty much this whole thing.
Oh, that was 13 ounces.
Pretty much measuring this out.
Say pretty much again.
Pretty much. Now, I'm gonna just heat up some heavy cream.
How much?
I need like just half a cup. I always do a little more because it evaporates a little bit. So you're pretty much gonna put that on the stove for and just until it starts boiling. And then once it's done, I'm just gonna pour it in there and mix it, and then it's a ganache.
What did you do to your leg? Ay, Mateo. Dame un beso. Oh, qué ricos besos.
I just put a little bit of like sea salt in there. Or no, it's kosher salt, because kosher salt really brings out the flavor of chocolate. It's boiling. This one's supposed to be half a cup.
Of what?
This, not the whole thing.
Do I stop and redo it?
Are you going still?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, it's only supposed to be half a cup. If I put all the milk, it'll be too like liquidy and won't be able to like really mix right. So there's half a cup. And then you just start mixing slowly. It is pretty much done. You want to just go to like a creamy.
Yes. Do it again, do it again. Yes!
The more you leave it out, it will get a little bit thicker. I think this is still too watery for like a spread.
It looks good. Can I do it? Yes! Hi. Hi, sweet girl.
So the dough has been sitting in the oven just to keep warm for about 5 hours. Oh it's double! It got so much bigger since the last hour or so.
Because you waited.
It says to leave it for like about 5 minutes. Like don't touch it.
Don't touch it. Why are you touching it?
I'm trying to find the lines. They're all the way down there. So yeah, it definitely doubled in size. So it says to leave it there for like 5 minutes, not to mess with it. So the dough is ready. You see the Sharpie on the dough? So I'm gonna measure the whole thing. So in total, 1,097.6 grams. So it's supposed to make 16 conchas, so I'm gonna just divide that by 6.
So it comes out to 68.5 grams that he has to do for 16 conchas. Who is gonna eat all of them?
So we have exactly 16 little like dough balls here. I haven't shaped them into a ball yet. They're just kind of portioned out, and then I have the toppings here. So pretty much we're gonna make these into a ball, flatten these out like this over here, and then I think we're all ready. I'm gonna turn the oven on because I forgot to do that, and it's at 325. So mom is making them into the balls, and I greased the pan already, and I just read the recipe. They have to rise again, all shaped, for another hour. So there goes another hour of shaping and rising. Lucy, you got camera shy. So we're gonna shape them, put the topping on top, and then we have to let them rise for another hour. Yay. Okay, so they're all portioned out already. It does say to put a little bit of shortening on top of each one, which it says in the recipe that it helps the topping to stay stuck to the bread. So Nancy's doing that now. We're both kind of laughing because I should have read the recipe a little more. So pretty much this recipe is gonna take 3 days. Mateo, what are you doing? That's nice. Oh, you want Lucy to sit with you? Pretty much you just put it on there, push down a little bit, kind of press it in there. And then on each one we're gonna do like a little design, which we'll show you in a bit.
And it
should look like that, but we'll see.
So what are we doing now? They're all with their little shell. I went crazy and did this and that. And that is doing some designs, some concha designs. Do you need to see my ears to get inspired?
So apparently there's like a concha shape doer thingy. Well, we don't have that, so this is what we're doing. I'm just doing like the generic concha shell.
Boring. So here are mine. I'm excited to see that one. Is that a face?
It's a smiley face. I'm hoping that the eyes like open. And then
Concha.
these are just normal.
Conchas.
I did this one was kind of crazy.
Oh, so crazy. Boys keep somehow appearing here. Hola.
So pretty much, we're gonna wait another 2 hours.
What do we
I
do?
don't know if we're gonna make dinner. I'm probably actually gonna start editing this video.
2 hours later.
They haven't been baking. The oven is not on, but they've been like sitting there to rise, and I think they look pretty. Oh wow, they're kind of a little bit bigger. I wouldn't say double, but they've been pretty big.
All the line, you can tell with the line. I was gonna say not really, but yeah, you can tell with the line.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
And this is good. So I'm gonna take them out for a little bit. So I'm gonna turn the oven on to preheat to 325, and then we'll put them in.
20 minutes later.
I wish you guys could smell the kitchen. It smells amazing.
So pretty much, I'm rotating them. Because there's multiple pans. I'm rotating them from the top shelf to the bottom shelf so they can bake evenly.
They look so good.
How are we gonna stuff them? I think we should just do like
On the side.
I think we should do a sandwich.
Conchas, it smells so good.
Oh,
hot Conchas?
Hot.
Oh my god, they smell so good. And they
Oh, they
look
should have made them pink. Aren't they usually pink?
some.
So, I don't know how to check if they're done. The recipe said just to check the bottom and see if the bottom is brown.
The bottom as well, they're brown, so I'm pretty sure.
The brown?
Yes,
They're beautiful!
just like my ears. Why to cut?
Ah.
Oh no!
So we're gonna let them cool down for quite a while. And then we're gonna fill them with the Nutella Ganache.
Oh my god, they look so good. Good job.
So they are done. I think they're cooled down enough to start filling with the Nutella. Then we have two methods. We're either gonna like Mateo. We're gonna like use this to fill like the side or something, or just cut them in half and make like a sandwich. So we'll do both and see what kind of works better. So we're gonna do option number one.
I don't know if anything's going in.
Mmm. Before we do the sandwich method, we're gonna just open this and see kind of how it looks, or just cut it in half.
It's not there.
It's not there. Boo! Yeah, I think it's. Let me see. It's right there at the end. So I think if we just do a sandwich, it might be better.
Where's this one? It's just there.
So I think it's just too thick
Fail.
of a bread to fill. Mom's trying it for the first time.
It's so good.
So we'll do sandwich method. All right.
Okay.
Option number two, I'm gonna just slice it like a sandwich and then just fill it. But I'm scared the topping's gonna mess up, which it is.
So I think conchas are not meant to be filled.
No. Oh, maybe. Hold on. So I'm thinking like that. Just make a little sandwich.
Mmm. Yummy.
Like that or more.
That's good.
Pop it back on.
Yes.
So concha,
A ver.
Nutella
toma.
Ganache sandwich. I think this looks pretty good. This was an ugly one to start off with, so Mateo's gonna try it for the first time. Oh, Mexican baby power! Do you like it?
Oh, you like
Mateo. You like it? Agua. Makes you thirsty? More? Alright guys. 3 days and almost 7 hours later, conchas are done. So we decided to do like half of just regular and half filled. So this is a filled one right here. So it's like a little concha sandwich with the Nutella Ganache. And these are just like the regular ones over here. Wait, what happened to my smiley face one? Oh, my smiley face! See the eyes, the smile, and the heart over here. Conchas. Ooh. I want to put some Mexican music in the background on this.
Maria, please.
Alright, Mama's gonna try the Nutella one. First ever. J&N Creations creation. Nutella Ganache Concha.
It's so good.
Let me see. So it's a very thin layer. Just not overpowering.
It's perfect.
You want some? Mmm. Thank you guys for watching our video.
Hope you enjoyed this recipe.
Spider-Man.
Do it yourself conchas video. Yeah.
So I think it was overall it's pretty successful. I kind of knew that the dough was gonna be too thick to put the thing in. Anyway, alright guys, bye. Don't forget to subscribe.
Like and share.
Bye. Happy Halloween.